Good morning. I know that I have the honor of being with you all this morning and setting in motion this great service. The first song that I'm going to sing is "Great Is Thy Faithfulness." If you've heard it before, I ask that you listen as if it's the very first time that you're hearing it. And if you haven't heard it before, sit back and allow the words to just minister to you, permeate every part of your being. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been and forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer, winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their orbits above, join all of nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy and love. Oh, great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, oh, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Hallelujah. Yes, great is our faith.
Thank you so much, Charles. That was amazing and moving. Beautiful way to open up this morning. Everybody, that was Charles Holt. Now I'll be telling you a little bit more about him in a moment. I am Donna Starr. I am a licensed practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living, and I am your host today. I have a message from Reverend Deborah Johnson for everybody. Greetings, everyone. Blessed Thanksgiving weekend. Be sure to express gratitude in tangible ways with your time, talent, and treasures. This is the season of giving. Give of yourself as well as your dollars. I had to make an unexpected trip today to care for my aging mother, and I'm not in a position to be with you this morning. Our speaker today is Inner Light practitioner Cassandra Davies, who is also the co-chair of our prison outreach ministry. Cassandra is a military veteran and former corrections officer and knows how to speak truth to power. With a creative mind, a poet's heart, and a voice for justice, her insights are surely to be a blessing. And our musical inspiration this morning is Charles Holt. He is a beloved member of our Inner Light community, a world-class performer, author, playwright, singer, dancer, actor. Charles has a keen awareness of how history informs our present moment. You're in for a treat. He has shared his talents on some of the most coveted stages, including on Broadway in the cast of The Lion King. I'm proud to call them both friend. I can't wait to watch the archive tonight. Many blessings to you all. And so now, if you will just take a moment to turn within and feeling yourself in this sacred space, going within to that place that is never disturbed, that is never influenced by the outside, that place where spirit resides, that place that is always unchanging. And know that from this place, we are informed that there is only one thing happening, and that is the life of spirit. That is the life of God, whatever we want to name it. It is life happening everywhere, all the time, always moving and arcing toward its greatest expression of love, compassion, generosity. I'm knowing that in this time, in this season of gratitude, we can find within ourselves all kinds of ways to be grateful, all sorts of reasons to say thank you for our life, for our health, for our loved ones. Even in these times where we may feel disconnected, we're still provided with ways to connect. Knowing that there is no time and space in God, knowing that there is no distance between me and you because we are all one in spirit. I know that we are always connected. And I am grateful to be here with you all today. I'm grateful to be able to know Spirit's presence everywhere, all the time. And so I know that our time together is blessed and informed and guided by that great love. And I release this word into the law of mind that is only and always saying yes, and I let it be. And so it is. Our theme for this month is gratitude. And our topic today is gratitude adjusts attitudes. You will find your activations and purpose statement on your screen. And join me now in reading our affirmative activations. I never need a reason to be grateful. I am grateful just because. My deepest appreciation for life relishes in the thoroughness of my journey. I rejoice in the bounty that is everywhere present. Divine goodness expresses itself in, through, and as me. My thoughts words and deeds make a positive contribution. I have the courage to pierce through appearances. I see blessings eclipsed by circumstances. I give thanks no matter what. My resiliency buoys me up, keeping me afloat in troubled waters. The energy of the thanks I give uplifts others as well. And gratitude is the great attitude adjuster. And join me now in the reading of our statement of purpose. Inner Light Ministries is an omni-faith outreach ministry dedicated to spiritual transformation. We provide tools for living that encourages the practical application of universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances. Our aim is healing through the energy of love and the revealing of our own inner light. As an omni-faith ministry, we embody spiritual oneness, appreciate individualized expressions, and honor all paths that lead to truth. And now I will return us to Mr. Charles Holt for some more of his amazing musical inspiration.
Take a deep breath with me. So I say in this moment, use me, oh God. I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is a love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that all that I must do. I must do.
Thank you, Charles. That was just absolutely beautiful. Good morning, Inner Light. I'm Cassandra Davies. I'll be giving the message today. And before I start that, I also want to just say how grateful I am to just be here in my body, feet on the earth, on the planet, at this time in our combined evolutions. The theme for this month is gratitude. And the topic today is gratitude adjusts attitudes. How many times have we heard the phrase, so and so needs an attitude adjustment? And what is the first thing you think of when you hear that? That, oh, so and so has a bad attitude. It's maybe usually a kind of a negative connotation, maybe towards an adolescent who's having a mood, or someone who's just carrying a heavy energy. Attitude adjustments can be hard, especially when we find ourselves right in the middle of feeling all of our emotions. An attitude is a predominant way of being. It's a certain mindset that we kind of carry with us from day to day. So an attitude is a pattern of habitual thinking. And that habitual thinking of when we talk about gratitude, our habits way of thinking around gratitude is that we have to wait for an event to be thankful, or for a condition to occur or change for us to feel that gratitude. I'll be happy when, and fill in the blank. It'll be so good when this happens. But that pattern of thinking, that attitude, sets us up for dissatisfaction and discontent, because the subconscious takes that statement of I'll be happy when, and that the subconscious creates hasn't happened yet. Something's missing. Creates a pattern of waiting. So I'm waiting for what? Waiting for my good, waiting for that opportunity. But the waiting is what the universe gives us, because what we put out comes back. And the longer and more intensely we express and hang on to that, I'll be so happy when, I'll be so happy if only, if I'm just waiting and wanting, it creates a restless spirit. So now I've got this kind of overlay in my consciousness that's telling me right now, and what I have right now in this moment isn't good enough. And that predominance colors my attitude. Attitudes require maintenance. I know it sounds a little odd, but attitudes require maintenance. It happens naturally through our self-talk, which is a dangerous thing, can potentially be a dangerous thing. If our emotions that happen throughout our life in response to events that happen to us, if we don't process and clear our emotions, they serve as a kind of a spiritual snowball as they attract more and more of like emotions and layer on top of each other. And it becomes a vicious cycle, a vicious circle. A few months ago, I talked about the victim, villain, hero triangle. And this is another way that the triangle feeds into creating an attitude through that repetitive description of events that if we don't allow ourselves to fully feel and heal, and process the emotions, and then leave them where they are. We're creating an attitude of victim or an attitude of on guard, an attitude of being closed off, an attitude of protecting ourselves. And there are lots of ways we can do this. One way is adolescents are really good at protecting themselves is creating sarcasm, snark. It's because they're hurting. There's something that's really bothering them. And they don't want it to continue, so they develop a protection against the world through attitude. Before I started my spiritual journey, I had quite an attitude. And it was so strong of a defensive attitude that people could feel it. It was as if I had a banner going across my forehead that said, "Don't mess with this one." Because I had a quick temper and it went out non-verbally as much as it did verbally. The non-verbal was probably stronger than the verbal. But my attitude was creating my reality from my experiences of dealing with bullies, of work experiences through the lens of victim. Because of the bullying, I had convinced myself and gathered evidence that the world wasn't safe and that I was a victim of unfairness, of discrimination, racism, of not fitting in, whatever. That was my story. But the thing about stories, they're fiction. They're a creation. So my story was what my mind had created in response to my experiences because I didn't know any better. And I didn't know how to reframe my experiences. And I didn't know how to get to a place that would allow me to change my attitude. It took years of being in that vicious cycle. And it's not that being in a negative attitude or a heavy attitude or just an attitude that's difficult, that makes life difficult to navigate, makes it kind of thick and heavy and hard to move through. When I started healing, I found out that I could change my attitude. First, by changing my perceptions of the experiences I was having, and changing my perceptions of my past experiences, I could use gratitude as sort of a method of time travel. So bear with me. I know we're getting a little sci-fi here. Being in victimhood meant that I was living in the past, and I was taking that past, pulling it and projecting it out in front of me, and then worrying, how am I going to be received? What happens if this? What if that? I better be ready for X. So using my past to predict a future that I was actually creating through worry and tension and protectiveness and having that warrior armor ready to go. So how did I change that? Gratitude, well, it became like a method of time travel for me, because I could go to the past and find what I was grateful for and find what served me. Victim wasn't serving me any longer. Being angry wasn't serving me. Having an attitude of protectiveness wasn't serving me. It wasn't giving me a way to be connected with people, to engage freely and easily with people. When I started looking at how can I change this attitude of victimhood? How can I change this attitude of defensiveness and this attitude of anger? I can see what it's doing to me. I can see how it's hurting me. How do I fix it? And it felt so huge at the time, because it was like carrying just this heavy weight, this being under this blanket of heaviness. One of the things that really helped me, talking about part of my attitude was because I was carrying a lot of grief. And I was carrying the grief of a child being bullied, of feeling like I didn't have friends. And then the grief of losing my father unexpectedly, and carrying that grief so intensely for 3, 4, 5 years. When I shifted away from my father's gone into what we had, the things that I did with my dad, the things my dad taught me, the things that I could see that I had learned from him, the things about me that I could see came from him, the gratitude just rose up, and it completely transformed that feeling of pain and grief to appreciation, joy, thankfulness. And it's changed into how blessed I am to have had the dad that I had. How blessed I am to have learned the things that I've learned from him. And from there, it expanded to I'm so blessed in this way. I'm blessed to have learned how to manage my temper. I'm blessed to have learned how to see others through my own pain. I'm blessed to have been able to walk this walk, practicing what I've learned. So I started small, and it was very, really small. Waking up and saying, "Oh, I'm here. Thank you. Here. Thank you for my eyesight. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my body. Thank you for the ground that I can walk on, God. Thank you for the oceans. Thank you for the air. Thank you for the colors of the seasons." And just expand it. Gratitude is a very powerful thing. It's so powerful because it has the ability to stop negativity in its tracks. It has a power that builds upon itself, that can create a, a vortex of manifestation. We use gratitude in our prayer as the activating force. It changes outlooks. I want to share a story about how I manifested my current job situation. I worked in the tech field, and was laid off 2004, 2005. And this was at a time when the field that I worked in was being shifted over to much more highly trained engineers. Went from being a functional type of job to a much more technical job, where actually they took the engineers and gave them my duties. So there wasn't really any room for my position anymore. So I had to find something new. And it was very difficult. Spent a lot of years unemployed or underemployed, doing odd jobs here and there, whatever I could to keep afloat. When I finally found something that I really wanted to do, what I enjoy, I was working part-time, and it was a driving job. So I was working part-time, kind of sporadically, and in the meantime, I was driving for Lyft. So while I was doing rideshare driving, I came across a position that I really wanted. It's like, I want to work for this company at this location, and I want to be doing X. And every time in my part-time work that I would wind up at this location, either picking up or dropping somebody off, I would enter the grounds with this attitude. Oh, it's so cool to be working in here. It feels so good to be here. How amazing it is that I get to come in here and do this job. And I didn't have a set plan of how I was going to get into this company. And what happened was, I carried that feeling tone that the gratitude created. I carried that feeling tone every time I laid eyes on the place, every time I was physically there. I had that feeling of thankfulness. And I wasn't really fully sure how it was going to happen. But what wound up happening was that a new department was created. And my company, though I was working for a different company, my company was contracting for this other business that I wanted to go to. And I wound up getting in that way. So they created a whole new division of only 6 people. And I, thank God, was one of those people. It was miraculous. This is what gratitude does. It creates a vortex. So when we use gratitude, this is the gratitude, the thankfulness when we pray in our affirmative prayer. We use gratitude, and it's the activating force that creates the receptivity for change to happen, for manifestation to happen, for the attitude to change. So when we go back to attitudes, just like life is fluid and ever changing, so are our attitudes. Because life is organic, my thinking is organic, therefore my attitudes are organic. I can change them. I can give them life. They respond to stimuli. They're linked to our emotions. And yet they can be molded by our will. We don't have to remain stuck in them. So no matter what is going on, when we look at appearances, I can look at appearance and say, that's just how it looks now. I'm grateful that I have the ability to see through this appearance. I'm grateful that there's a space in me that's never been harmed or touched by circumstance. I'm grateful that there's a wisdom that I can tap into that will give me answers to perceived problems. And going back to the affirmations for today, gratitude gives us a resiliency. Like Rev says, my resiliency buoys me up, keeping me afloat in troubled waters. I know that whatever comes at me, there is a power and a presence that I'm thankful for that will carry me through no matter what. No matter what. Gratitude really is the great attitude adjustment. I'm going to finish with a poem that I wrote as a prayer. So I'm going to read this as our ending prayer. I want you to listen consider whatever may be going on for you, or if you just want to be in a space of gratitude, in a space of thankfulness. This poem is called Loving Me Through. So let's pray. Thank you for loving me through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for loving me through the pain and the rain, for loving me through the tears and the fears. For in spite of the maturity of my years, I'm still a child on the inside. Oh, I may seem big and bad and strong and mean, but that's just my contrast, my armor, my shield, my protection while I navigate my way down this dangerous field. But on the inside, sometimes I'm still needing protection and feeling hurt from the world's rejection, still needing to be nurtured and know that I'm loved and that it's okay to open my mouth and say whatever it is that I have to say, still longing to be seen and encouraged, to express, to have permission to become my sacred yes. On the inside, I live with you always on my side. So thank you for loving me through. Thank you for loving me through my abuse, my misuse of your gifts, and my arrogance and ignorant bliss, through my locking down of the chambers of my heart, and for failing to see the beauty and art of your creation in the eyes of others, for loving me through my fearful failure to recognize all of us as brothers. Thank you for loving me through my anger and insolence, my rejection of you, for loving me through the darkness of my soul in the night, for giving me comfort and making me whole, for loving me back into the warmth of your infinite light. Thank you for loving me through. Thank you for giving loving silence to my smallness and for loving, supporting my driving and striving, for power and possibility, for excellence and presence, for faith and grace and beauty and magnificence. Thank you for loving me through my lies to myself and holding the truth for me when I couldn't, and for seeing me as you when I wouldn't. Thank you for loving me through. Thank you for creating me as an expression of you. I'm giving thanks for each and every being here in attendance today, knowing that we are all surrounded, supported, and buoyed up by an energy and a power that is unmatched in its strength and ability to love us through whatever is happening in our lives. I rest in this consciousness and the gratitude that knowing that my thankfulness and my gratitude activates this power. And it melts away pain and sadness, fear and difficulty. And creates a vortex of lightness, happiness, of joy, of relief and peace. Giving thanks that the more I tap into this power, the more it goes out and touches those around me, touches the world. And in this way, our world is changed. So I let this be, I release it into the law, knowing that it cannot return, and say together, and so it is. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring Charles back in.
Let my soul surrender. Let my soul surrender. Greater I shall be. Greater I shall see. Even in the silence. Even in the sadness. Greater I will be. Greater I will see. Let my soul surrender. Let my soul surrender to the heart of God. What I came to do and what I came to feel. Let my soul surrender. Let my soul surrender. Oh, greater I shall be. Greater I shall see. Let my soul surrender. Let my soul surrender to the arms of God, to the arms of God. Greater I shall do, greater I shall heal. Let my soul surrender to the heart of God.
Hi, good morning. I've been muted. I'm going to once again thank Charles Holt for his inspiring music and beautiful voice. It's so moving to my soul. And I want to thank Cassandra Davies for her inspirational message of truth and gratitude. I have a few brief announcements. We are very appreciative of everybody who's continuing to support us monetarily. And if you would like to continue doing that or join in doing that, conscious giving, You will find a donate button in your live stream or in the chat. You can also use PayPal at paypal.me, Inner Light Ministries. You can also, the third way to give is text to give. Simply text the amount of your donation to 831-667-5051. I know that this is a season in which many of us, myself included, can use a little extra spiritual support. If you find yourself wanting to connect with someone spiritually or in need of prayer, you can call us at 831-465-9090, extension 254. Or you can email us your prayer request at 4prayer, that's the number 4, prayer, at innerlightministries.com. Every Thursday here at Inner Light Ministries, we have our Second Harvest Food Bank distribution from noon to 1 p.m. Due to COVID-19, food distribution has been moved outside, and we are preparing for a rainy winter. So we must purchase tent canopies to cover our food distribution area so that we can continue to provide food for the more than 600 people that use our food pantry weekly, all winter long. You can find in the chat a link to a fundraiser that we're currently having, and also on our Facebook page, and know that all donations are tax deductible. There is also a new way to participate in Inner Light's global community. It is our new Facebook group, #VisionsIgniting, where you can share your visions and thoughts with a focus on what you do want to see in the world. On Wednesdays, please, if you'd like, join practitioner and ministerial student Ashley Rose Blanchette at 5:30 Pacific time for a weekly virtual meditation. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, join Reverend Ann Forsberg in her Spiritual Watershed series. This week's topic is the religious imagination. Information on all of our events, classes, and workshops on our website at www.innerlightministries.com, and also on our Facebook page. And at this time, I would like to bring Charles back for a final closing song.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you, Cassandra, for that beautiful message and that poem at the end. It was lovely, absolutely lovely. I think now that we have come to this place in the service, I want to sing a song that kind of ties all of the musical thread up today, you know, from Great is Thy Faithfulness and Gratitude to Ricky Byers' song, Use Me, and then the song I just sung by Ricky Byers, Let My Soul Surrender. So after we've done all of that, I can say, I'm ready to listen, because I've asked to listen. So this song says, speak to my heart, Holy Spirit, give me the words that will bring new life. Words on the wings of the morning, the dark night will fade away if you speak to my heart. Speak to my heart, Holy Spirit. Message of love to encourage me, lifting my heart from despair. How you love me and care for me. Just speak to my heart. 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 Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me the holy word. If I can hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. No, never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide, and I'll let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Holy Spirit. Give me the words that will bring new life. I'm listening. Words on the wings of the morning. The dark nights will fade away when you speak to my heart. Oh, speak to my heart. Speak to my heart.
Thank you again, Charles. And thank you again to Cassandra Davies. Thank you, Charles. And if everybody would just take a moment right now to turn again within and know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look at within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and inspired by a presence that expresses itself in this world as you. Charles, is Charles still here?
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to thank you again and to offer you this opportunity if there's anything that you wanted to share with us about anything you got going on.
Well, I first of all, I want to just express my gratitude for being able to share the platform, even if it is a virtual one. It's a platform, a virtual platform with all of you. I am deeply honored, and I do send my prayers and blessings up to the Inner Light family and ministry and Reverend Deborah and her beloved mother at this present time. Things are still moving in I shouldn't say in spite of or in the flow of of what is happening. I just finished my third manuscript, and it's really a great one. I finished it while I was on the seas last year because I was performing as a singer last year on Royal Caribbean, and they gave me a whole lot of time to write and a whole lot to write about. Yeah, to be on the water. The water is magical, absolutely magical. Mm-hmm. So it'll be out. The book will be released next year. And of course, I'm still working with youth. I'll always work with youth. I'll always work with youth on emotional literacy and learning, because that's the legacy that my father left me. And so we'll always do that. We'll always be talking about forgiveness, because I'm always living in that. Forgiveness brings me into gratitude. Mm-hmm. And gratitude is it's one of those things, and Cassandra talked about it. It offers us an opportunity to find the bridges to something much greater. That's what gratitude does. Is it gets us to that entrance of a bridge or a passageway that offers us something much greater than anything that we've ever thought or imagined, because it becomes an expansive type of offering to ourselves. When we forgive others, it's just pretty much for us. So those are the things that are coming up for me. So look out for the book. I'm not going to tell you the title just yet, but you'll know what it is sooner or later. So thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to knowing the title of that book and being able to get it in my sight for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the end of our service this morning. Blessings to everybody. Hold consciousness and love for our beloved Reverend Deborah and her family. And we're going to go out into the world and do what? We're going to take this consciousness and multiply it. Blessings, everyone.